In the bustling, aromatic city of Olfactoria, the air was never just air. It was a library of feelings. If you walked past the bakery, the scent wasn't just yeast and flour. It was the warm, golden smell of comfort. If you strolled by the library, the dusty scent of old paper smelled distinctly of curiosity. Pip, a young boy with a nose that twitched like a rabbit's, lived for these scents. He was the apprentice to Master Anise, the city's alchemist of aromas. While other children learned to read books, Pip learned to read the wind. Beside him always trotted Whiffle, a small, fluffy creature who looked like a cloud with legs. Whiffle was a living mood ring. He turned a cheerful yellow when he smelled joy, sun-warmed citrus, and a deep, empathetic blue when he smelled sorrow, damp wool and rain. But lately, Olfactoria was losing its smell. A gray, odorless haze called the Smog was creeping through the cobblestone streets. It didn't smell bad. It smelled of absolutely nothing. It was the scent of a sanitized hospital room, cold and empty. The smog came from the new Perfector machines that had been installed in the factories. These machines made tables without splinters, bread without crusts, and flowers that never wilted. Everything was smooth, flawless, and utterly scentless. As the perfectors hummed, the messy, complex smells of life, the tang of pine sap, the funk of ripening cheese, and the earthy musk of wet soil were stripped away. And with the smells went the feelings. The people of Olfactoria were becoming gray. They didn't laugh, they didn't cry, and they didn't argue. They just existed, efficient and numb. One morning, Pip found Master Anise slumped in her chair. Her workshop, usually a riot of lavender and peppermint, smelled faint.
My nose, Pip. The smog is dulling it. I can't smell the difference between hope and despair anymore. You must brew the Keystone Scent.
It is the only thing strong enough to wake the city up, but you cannot make it here. You need the primal scents.
Where do I find them?
Go to where the perfectors have not yet reached. Bring me the earth, the rose, and the berry. But be careful, the smog hates imperfection.
Pip grabbed his satchel, and Whiffle, currently a pale, anxious gray, followed him out the door. Their first stop was the dusty plains, far beyond the city walls. Pip needed the scent of petrichor, the smell of rain hitting dry earth. It was the smell of anticipation. But the sky was clear. Pip sat for hours, waiting. He didn't use magic, he used patience. Finally, a dark cloud rolled in. As the first fat drops splattered against the dusty ground, a pungent, earthy aroma rose up. It was muddy and raw. Whiffle's fur turned a vibrant, electric purple. Pip captured the scent in a vial. It wasn't a clean smell, but it felt alive. Next, they climbed the thicket hills to find a wild rose. The perfectors had filled the city with plastic roses that looked perfect, but smelled like nothing. Pip had to crawl through a tangle of briars. He scratched his hands and tore his trousers. "Ouch!" he yelped. But deep in the thorns, he found it, a small, lopsided flower with tattered petals. He leaned in. The scent was dizzying, sweet, spicy, and wild. It smelled of courage and pain mixed together. Whiffle turned a brave, fiery orange. Pip captured the essence, thorns and all. Finally, they went to the sunny slopes for a wild strawberry. The city markets sold giant, glossy strawberries that tasted like water. Pip hunted in the low grass until he found a tiny misshapen berry, no bigger than his thumbnail. It was warm from the sun. He crushed it gently, and the air filled with a burst of sugary, tart perfection. It was the scent of pure joy. Whiffle turned a blinding, happy yellow. With the 3 primal scents secured, Pip raced back to Olfactoria. But he was too late to return to the workshop. The smog was thick in the grand plaza. The mayor was unveiling a massive new Perfector machine. The crowd stood watching, their faces blank, their eyes dull. The air was suffocatingly sterile. Pip knew he had to act. He didn't run to Master Anise. He ran to the center of the plaza, right in front of the humming machine. "Hey!" he shouted. No one looked. They were too numb. Pip pulled out the crystal flask. He poured in the muddy earth, the thorny rose, and the sticky strawberry. He swirled them together. The flask began to glow. He pulled the cork and threw the flask at the feet of the Perfector machine. Smash! It didn't explode with fire. It exploded with life. A shockwave of scent rolled across the square. It was messy. It was pungent. It smelled of dirt and rain, of bleeding thumbs and sweet berries, of old books and wet dogs. It wasn't a perfect perfume. It was the smell of the world, raw and unfiltered. The effect was instant. A woman near the front gasped, her eyes widening. "It smells like my grandmother's garden," she whispered, and a tear rolled down her cheek. A man laughed, a deep, belly-shaking sound. "That smells like the mud pies I made when I was 5. Whiffle, standing by Pip's leg, exploded into a kaleidoscope of colors: red, blue, green, gold, shimmering like a disco ball. The smog tried to press down, but the complex, heavy reality of the Keystone Scent broke it apart like wind through fog. The Perfector machine sputtered. It couldn't process the complexity of the air, and with a final, confused whine, it shut down. Master Anise hobbled into the square, taking a deep, greedy breath. "Ah," she smiled, her eyes twinkling. "It smells like trouble. It smells like life." The city of Olfactoria didn't ban the machines entirely, but they turned them off. The people realized that a perfect, scentless world was a feelingless world. They went back to baking bread that sometimes burned, planting flowers that sometimes wilted, and living lives that were messy, smelly, and wonderful. And Pip, the boy with the sensitive nose, became the new hero of the city, reminding everyone to stop, take a deep breath, and feel the world around them.